There is growing concern among some Democrats that the investigation into the campaign finances of Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe could have a negative impact on Hillary Clinton's campaign. The governor, after all, is a longtime friend of the Clintons and has worked for the Clinton Foundation in the past. But in a radio interview today, McAuliffe said there is nothing for anyone to worry about.
I had my lawyer reach out to the Justice Department and ask if they have any indication of any wrongdoing on my part, and the answer was no. So my lawyer confirmed there's no issues that they have of wrongdoing, but it's unfortunate that you get these leaks out of justice and these other parts are supposed to be, you know, they have responsibility, but you live in a political world. This is what happened.
Let's talk about it with our political panel. David Avella is chairman of GOPAC and a Republican strategist. Basil Smikle is executive director of the New York State Democratic Party and a former senior aide to then Senator Hillary Clinton. So, Basil, I'm going to start with you. Terry McAuliffe says, don't be worried, there's nothing here. Are you worried?
No, I'm not worried. I think it comes down to two very basic questions. One, is Hillary Clinton at all implicated in any of these this investigation? It does bring up some buzzwords like Clinton and Foundation, but it doesn't look like there's been any implication of wrongdoing on her part. And secondly, is if this governor is being investigated, will it hamper his ability to deliver votes for her in the general election? I don't think that's the case. He has said, and we know him to be a very prolific fundraiser. I'm pretty confident that what legal issues needed to have been taken care of at the front end of this, that they were indeed addressed.
David, it's my impression that the FBI is generally an agency that doesn't like to waste its time or resources. They have been working on this for a year. If there's nothing there, why is the investigation still underway?
Well, time will tell whether any laws were broken or not. But what we do know is Terry McAuliffe has been the bad guy for the Clintons for decades. His frequent flyer miles are packed with airline miles going back and forth to China for the Clintons. All that said, this long-term probably has less impact on Hillary Clinton becoming president than today's news that she openly broke the email laws and rules of the State Department, and the fact that she has to defend being the third term of Barack Obama, which is a direction the country doesn't want to go in.
It is true that Terry McAuliffe and the Clintons have been intertwined, Basil, for a long time. It would seem that, you know, problems for him reflect on her.
Well, you know, I'm not so sure. I mean, you know, the idea is, if that were the case, that she was somehow conducting or engaged in behavior that was untoward, that somehow is intertwined, as you said, with any perceived wrongdoing that the governor has done. But it's no secret that the Clintons and Terry McAuliffe have a relationship that goes back decades. It's no secret that he was a very strong fundraiser. He was head of the DNC for several years. So these are relationships that go back certainly a very long time. But again, it doesn't seem as though there was any wrongdoing here. And the governor has said that this individual had a green card. So I guess you would take the vetting process at its word. And I don't think there's anything here that directly implicates Hillary or hurts her in a general election.
We started out this hour with a look at the audit, the investigator general audit of the email setup that Mrs. Clinton had. The two parties are approaching it very differently. The Republicans say that there's an awful lot of smoke there, and there ought to be some fire. Democrats are saying this is much ado about nothing. So, Basil, again, to you, clearly this report comes down on her and says, you know, that she was trying to be secretive, trying to do things with the email setup that she had that are not permitted by the federal government.
What it also said was that this is true about her four predecessors, and that the challenge that the government has is that it lags behind the available technology. And we all know that to be the case. If you've ever worked in government, you know that what exists in the world doesn't necessarily come to the halls of government in a swift manner. And so whatever that Hillary Clinton did, and look, she has talked about this. She said that this was a mistake on her part. She acknowledged that the drip of this investigation did hurt her. But again, there's no criminal issue here, and I think that is the key thing. There is no criminal issue here. And again, there's nothing in here that she hasn't already admitted to.
So, David, I think I hear him saying that it's old news.
Well, it's somewhat comical that the main response is that, well, other people did it. Well, are we forecasting that should Hillary Clinton be impeached, that, well, we've had a president be impeached before, so she's not really any different. We've had a president resign before. I mean, it is a funny argument, only to be more funny the fact that every time the elite in this country see or hear something from a Trump supporter, it is reflective of Donald Trump. Yet, nothing that a Clinton supporter says or does is somehow any reflection on Hillary Clinton. The hypocrisy is funny at best and sad at worst.
We will continue to watch it. There is more to come on this email investigation, obviously. Basil, Smikle, David Avella, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.